Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here, coming at you with yet another version of ABC. This time it's obviously Lightsworn ABC. These two archetypes blend very well together. There's a few very key cards that just use cards from both archetypes, so I'll show those as we get into it. If you guys haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. I got awesome content coming up. It won't all be just ABC. I definitely have some updates to some awesome decks once I get the cards from Dual Overload, the newest set that just came out. So without further ado, let's get right into this one with one of the better Lightsworn cards that you want to see, Raiden. Mostly you're going to be using him when he's normal summoned, or when he's on the field. You can just send the top two cards of your deck to the graveyard. If any Lightsworns are sent, he'll gain 200 attack, but that doesn't come up too often. He's also a tuner and a light warrior, which they all are pertinent to this deck. So he's really, really good. 3 Lumina. You know, if you open her and any other Lightsworn, you know, normally she's going to be your normal summon. Otherwise, you'll want to probably do something else. But you just discard a card, target 1 level 4 or lower Lightsworn in your graveyard, and special summon it. So really, really good. She's also a spellcaster. And then 3 Wolf. This is the guy you want to send to the grave somehow, you know, from the deck to the graveyard. Because when he's sent there by a card effect, you just special summon him. Really, really good. Felice, kind of the same idea as Wolf, except it has to be a monster effect that sends her from the deck to the graveyard. And you can also, she has a cool on the field effect. You can tribute this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and then you send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And she's also a tuner as well. So that's kind of our Lightsworn package there. Perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. Our ABCs played 2A, 2B, 2C. Again, the same reason we play 2 in all the other versions that I've done. Same reason here. You don't want to see too many of these in your hand. But they are obviously very good. If you get 1 of each piece in the grave, you got an instant ABC Dragon Buster. And also another thing to note, this deck is going to be very good, Master Rule 5, because you have so many fusions and Xyz and some synchro plays that you can do, which all now summon, after Master Rule 5, summon to the main monster zone. So it'll be really, really good boost for this deck. You'll be able to make some crazy, crazy boards with this deck. You play 1 Heavy Mech Support Armor. It's just really nice in this deck. You know, if you happen to draw this and, you know, like a charge or something like that, and you have a piece in the grave, you can normal summon this, special summon that piece, and just get some good plays going. So Heavy Mech Support Armor, definitely a must. And then 1 gold, 1 silver. Again, opening up one of these with a piece, or one of these with Union Hanger, especially in this deck, is really, really good. The main reason being, you can go into Minerva, which just requires 2 level 4 monsters, and she gets your whole... she is pretty much the glue to these 2 archetypes. Perfect for this deck, perfect for ABCs and Lightsworns. And then some weird ones I'm kind of playing, testing out. I think they're working out pretty good so far. Playing 3 Galaxy Soldier and 2 Gizmek Yada. Obviously, right off the bat, these are easy ways of going into Nova and Infinity, but they also are ways of getting your pieces and your Lightsworns to the graveyard without spending, you know, like a normal summon, or in the case of Gizmek Yada, gaining you an additional normal summon. Really nice. And then he's obviously going to be sending a light monster from your hand to the graveyard, which is any of your Lightsworns and any of your ABC pieces. So it's like I said, it's something I'm trying out, but so far I'm really liking it. Just being able to get at the very least, a really good you know, Cyber Dragon Infinity on board. Really nice negate. And then onto the spells. One of the most important ones for any kind of deck like this that's like a mish-mash. Charge the Light Brigade. you just send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then you add 1 level 4 lower Lightsworn monster from your deck to your hand. So 2 amazing effects. You know, get pieces to the grave, get Lightsworns to the grave, so that you can then maybe add a Lumina, and then get one of those Lightsworns back. You know, it just is a perfect card. And then 3 solar recharge. It's your main draw power, basically. Especially if you open up this, or only if you open up this and a Lightsworn. You just discard the Lightsworn, draw 2, and then send the top 2 to the graveyard. So, again, really, really good. 3 Union Hanger. It's a must if you're playing ABCs. You always want to see it. And then 2 Twin Twisters. Again, we don't mind discarding, and getting rid of 2 spell and traps on the field that might be problematic is always a good thing. And then for our very, very strong one-ofs, we play Foolish Burial. Again, send whatever you need. Terraforming to search Union Hanger. Monster Reborn. Really, really good in this deck. Again, you're milling a lot, so summoning back anything you mill is always a good thing. Pot of Avarice. Again, it's most of the time, even turn 1, going to be just simple draw 2. You know, target 5 in your graveyard, shuffle them to the deck, then draw 2. And then a card destruction. You know, depending on what you open up, this is going to be an amazing, amazing card. Just refilling your hand, filling your graveyard, and then you just have a lot of plays from there. So that's the main deck, stuck with 40. You know, potentially in Lightsworns, just because they do mill so much and they can. You might bump it up some more if you have some other cards you want to play. Perfectly fine in a deck like this. And then on to the extra deck. 2 ABC Dragon Buster. He's your boss monster again for the ABCs. And disruption on your opponent's turn and just getting bodies on the board. Again, so just perfect card. And like I said, the kind of the glue that binds these 2 decks together is Minerva. You just detach 1 from her, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then you'll be able to draw equal to the number of Lightsworns that were sent. So it could potentially be draw power, but it's always going to be sending some really nice cards to the grave. So really good. 1 Dugaris. You know, after you make a Minerva, you know, sometimes you might want to make a Dugaris, and especially after Master Rule 5, it's not out of the question to make her and a Dugaris, just for some really good draw power or special summoning from the grave. I just think he's super, super important in a deck like this. And then Abyss Dweller, just another nice one to kind of end your board on to stop your opponent. And we have Nova and Infinity. You know, it's with Galaxy Soldier, super easy to go into this guy. And just a really, really nice negate and just body on board. Perfect. And then our Synchros, play Michael. More often than not, I'm making him to get a light dragon type to go into like Curious or something like that. But he also, you just pay 1,000 life points, target 1 card in the field, and banish it. So that effect on its own is pretty good. And then our level 8 Synchro, because those are, again, pretty easy to make. Crystal Wing is really nice. And then our Lynx, Curious, is kind of, you know, you prefer to go into Minerva first and then Curious, but it doesn't matter, you know, really, as long as you get both of their effects off. She's going to be sending a card from the deck to the graveyard, and then when a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you send the top 3 to it. You mill the top 3 cards. So she's basically going to be sending 4 when she comes out. Perfect. Really, really nice. IP Masquerena. Again, another nice card to end your board on. And then you, on your opponent's turn, you take her and 1 other monster and go into Unicorn for some really good disruption. Saryuja. Fairly easy to make most of the time. So it's just really nice draw power, and you special summon from your hand. So he comes up a lot. And kind of for our ABC side of things, Platinum Gadget and Barricade Board Blocker. But again, this, when it's Link Summon, you just discard a card. So that can work for both archetypes. And it just requires 2 monsters with different names. So really, really good. You know, this could all potentially be changed depending on what you guys have or what you want to play. But that's the deck that I got for you guys. So yeah, I think it's super, super fun. I can probably do some test hands tomorrow, see what we kind of end on. But I've done a few test hands here and there. And, you know, I'm finding I end on, you know, it all depends. It's a mill deck, but you can have like an ABC Dragon Buster, Crystal Wing, and a Cyber Dragon Infinity on board, or like an Abyss Dweller and Infinity is again really, really nice. So it's just I think it's a really, really good deck, a really fun deck. It's a mill deck, so everything's kind of not quite a coin toss, but close to it, kind of depending on what you mill. But that's it for the deck, guys, and yeah, I'll come at you with some test hands for this tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the next one.